I'm the best that you got.
Rooney! Oh, wonderful! What a goal!
What a derby debut! Six of the best for Manchester City. He's just ripping up the record books.
Oh, this is incredible!
Rampant, relentless, it's scintillating.
It's a big game against a tough team. Tactically, mentally, we've got to be right.
This is no parochial derby. This is a big picture game. Big players, big stakes. This is Manchester.
The 198th Manchester derby is upon us. This is where the city splits in two and we decide who is taking bragging rights. Is it going to be red or is it going to be blue today? Both sides are desperate for their first league win of 2026 after a run of draws. And there's no better fixture to make it right than this one today. Michael Carrick leads United for the first time here, the Theatre of Dreams, after being named head coach earlier on this week. And he's a man who knows a thing or two about beating the Blues. Alongside me, I have got Phil Bardsley. This is always a huge fixture, the Manchester derby. As a player going into this, what do you need to do preparation-wise to make sure you are ready, not only tactically, but mentally as well?
Well, we all know what it means to everybody. As a former player, as a fan, it means everything to us. Derby Day is, it's something special. You want to get one over on your arch rivals, of course. But from our point of view, it's important that we go into the game with an element of calmness. Our performance on Sunday wasn't great. Obviously, changed now with Michael coming in. Obviously, new ideas, new philosophy. What we'll look forward to seeing today, and it's up to the players to take the challenge on. It's a great opportunity. We've got, we're 3 points outside of the top four, and what a chance today to go and beat your arch rivals at home.
It would be huge. We can see that the players have been arriving. That's what the fans have been shouting for. This is where the atmosphere starts to build. It's nothing better than a Manchester derby at Old Trafford, right?
No, early kick-off. It's incredible. Obviously, you can feel the build-up now. The fans are buying into it. They're getting behind the team, and they'll be important today. Then obviously the team are going through a bit of a difficult spell at the minute. So the crowd in any derby day, but certainly today they'll be so important.
We have to discuss, of course, Michael Carrick being put as head coach for this game today. To the start of his reign to be the Manchester derby is huge in itself, and he is a player that knows about winning against Manchester City, because Michael Carrick has only recorded more wins against Sunderland than he did against City. 13 wins against Manchester City. It'd be great if he got a win today.
Yeah, it's incredible. Obviously had an incredible record as a player, an outstanding player, but now coming in as manager, and I'm really excited to see him. I'm on a personal level a little bit gutted. I've lost my golfing partner on a Friday, but what an opportunity for him to come and manage a club that he holds dear to his heart. And I'm so confident to do a great job. He's got a great calmness about him. He's got a great football knowledge. By the sounds of things and by the looks of it, over the course of the last week, he's got some clear messages across to the players, and I'm really excited to see what he brings today.
But you're not excited about losing your golfing partner,
no?
No,
certainly not, no.
Well, make sure we pass that on to him. You can see the players coming in here now, and you said about, obviously, mentally as a player, what the derby does. We desperately need a win today, but both teams are coming into this with consecutively draws.
Yeah.
This is an interesting position for both teams to be in. So do you think that extra energy of a Manchester derby that we can hear around us is going to certainly help us?
Yeah, absolutely, because if you look at the league table, obviously we always look from our point of view in terms of where we want to get into the top four, but I don't think they can afford to lose today. So I think if they lose, they're out of the title race. I think if we can win, we're getting that top four. So it's all to play for today. It's a huge game. We all know what it means. We all know what's on the line. And like I say, you want to start off in the right positive manner. Michael want to get a win under his belt. The players will want to impress him, and I'm really looking forward to it. Obviously, we've got some players back from AFCON in Burma, Ahmad, so excited to see them back in the fold today as well, because I think we have missed them.
I was definitely going to mention this, because team news is obviously we have Delit that's out. That's what Michael Carrick said on Friday, but the boost of having Ahmad and Mbeumo was huge.
Yeah, absolutely. They've been they've been key to our season. I think, and Burmo, Ahmad have been, they've been outstanding. And I think over recent weeks when they've been at AFCON, I think we've missed them in that attacking element as well. Goals, assists, what they can bring to the team, but also the work ethic that they bring. And that's Ahmad. He's the levels of fitness that he's shown and the levels of performances that he's shown this season have been outstanding. So we certainly missed them. It'd be nice to see him come back in, but obviously we'll have to wait and see with team news.
Especially with Ahmad, fans will always remember that goal at the Etihad that he scored. When he can produce magic like that, surely that's got to give Carrick the kick today to be like, oh, do we just whack him in starting lineup? What do we do? Yeah,
it's difficult. He's obviously that's the not the problem. That's the conundrum you've got to solve when you're a Manchester United manager. You're going to have options at your disposal, and it's up to Michael to pick what he believes is the best 11 to go and win this football match, because obviously we know how important it is. So from his point of view, that'll be important because obviously it's his first game and he'll want to get that win under his belt.
And tackling a Pep Guardiola City side is always going to be difficult, especially with how they play. They like to outwork teams. We've seen it from the stats ahead of today's game. They've been collectively running an average of 115.6 kilometres per game. We really need to work hard to get a win today. Yeah,
of course. I don't think you can ever question Pep's teams. I think they've always had a great work ethic about them. As much as as good as they are, should I say, on the ball, the work ethic is outstanding. But what I will say with City as well, they've got some key players missing. I know they've had a couple of decent results, but at the back, defensively, I think they look a little bit vulnerable, a little bit fragile. I think it's areas where we can expose them. Certainly is out wide, like you say, if Cunha, Ahmad, and Burmo come back into the fold. I think there's chances for them to expose them in them areas. And I think, listen, they're an exceptional team, so we know we're going to have to be at our best if we're to get something from this game.
Where they have lost in the defence, they have gained in the attack. There's been a couple of new signings for Manchester City, and one of them, of course, is Semenyo, who is in the top 3 of the top goal scorers in the Premier League. So we need to be very careful, obviously, Erling Haaland, that we always talk about, Semenyo, and they've just signed, obviously, Mark Gay.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, it pains me to say it, but when it comes to the transfer window and players that they recruit, they get it spot on every time. I think Mark Gay is outstanding. I think Semenyo for Bournemouth has been an absolute joy to watch, and he's opening 2 games for City. He scored 2 goals, so he's certainly someone we have to keep our eye on today. But when you're playing against a top side, you're always going to have threats in the team. But for me personally today, I think our fullbacks are going to be key. I think they really have to be on top form. I think they have to be aggressive against them, because obviously Doku one side, you've got Semenyo the other side, and then you've got Haaland up front. So they're going to have to be at the best. They're going to have to be nice and aggressive against them, and we're going to have to nullify their threat at source.
Well, I don't know about you, but I'm very excited to hear about the team news.
Yes, I am. I certainly am.
Certainly are. If you're excited as us, you're going to hear that very soon. But we have said that, obviously, Michael Carrick is leading the team today. He is head coach, and if you missed it, he started his reign joining our podcast team.
Michael Carrick, welcome back to Carrington. I think I speak on behalf of everyone to say we're absolutely delighted to have you back here as head coach. So the obvious question is, how does it feel?
To be fair, as you'd expect, I mean, it's an unbelievable feeling to come back through the doors, really, and be part of the club again. It's been part of my life for so long, and the fact that I left the club for a number of years recently has never really left me. My family's so entwined, and goes to every game, season tickets, and I love the place. So for me to be back in this position, it's there's kind of 2 sides to it. There's the personal side and the relationships and seeing people, and the kind of the soft side in some ways. But I'm quickly focused on doing the job. It's a big responsibility, a massive pleasure and a privilege to be here. But we want to do a good job, and this place deserves that. So massively focused to get started and get going.
When you walk through the doors here, all redone, nice and shiny, what were your first impressions?
Yeah, it's the first time I've been in this building. Obviously, I've been here a few times for for different things, but never in the building. So hugely impressive. I mean, it's yeah, I mean, we're all getting spoiled. I've been spoiled today already, so it's great. You know, I think it's part of the club. We want best in class. We want to be pushing boundaries, pushing limits, and always pushing for more. And certainly the building and the setup and the layout and I have to say the atmosphere within the building. It's hugely positive, really welcoming. Been a really good environment to settle into already, and I felt that, and I felt the love and the everyone willing to kind of pull in the right direction. So it's been a great place to be on day one.
What has today looked like for you then, your first day?
It's been really good actually. It's been really really efficient if anything. You know, coming into the building, driving myself in, the first thing this morning was a nice feeling. I've done the drive many times and for different reasons, but have you seen it? I haven't seen it yet. So that in itself, you know, coming to work like that was give me butterflies in a really good, in a good way, and a good feeling. And as I say, coming into the building and feeling that calmness really, and the composure, and the it felt quite normal for me, and that's not playing it down or blasé. It felt like I was in such a really good place with good people that were kind of all pulling in the same direction. And the backroom staff that are here are fantastic. I've met pretty much all of them and gone through it, and the plans and what's gone before, what's to come. So as much as it feels, or it might look that, you know, there's all sorts going on, it's actually been really quite a calm day, and quite a clear day in terms of focus really of what we want out of the next few days, what we want it to look like, what we want the end of season to look like, how we want to move forward as a club. And it's been a really, really good day. I've loved it, and it just gives me a lot of positivity.
What does it take? We hear that phrase very often, but what does it take to be a Manchester United player?
It takes a lot of hard work. It takes a lot of humility and hard work. I'll keep saying it a lot. It takes a lot of hard work, and grounded and understanding that there's talent's one thing, and ability's one thing, and the privileges of playing is one thing, but actually it comes back down to the basics, the fundamentals, treating people right, respect people, look after each other, and fight for each other, and the rest of it comes on top, whether that's tactics, whether that's technique, whether that's goal celebrations, whatever that is. It needs to be underpinned by a foundation of that we're all in it together, and we're fighting for everything we can get, and it takes a lot of hard work. You know, there's no easy way around it, and there shouldn't be. You know, you get to the top because you deserve to, and you can't do it you can't do it softly, should I say, and that's the buzz of it. That's part of the you got to feed off it. You got to feed off that energy, and we got to keep driving forward.
Obviously, we are in the canteen looking over the pitches. The sun is shining. It's a perfect setting. It has changed a lot since you were last here. If we go back and reflect on that time, there's still maybe 6 players. I'm sure a lot of staff members that are still the same from your time here. But in terms of your journey away from the club in that time, what do you think that you have learnt?
Yeah, Helen, I've learnt loads. You know. Kind of taking a step away from this. This is all I knew for so long, and to kind of go out and first of all living on my own in the northeast, and going to Middlesbrough and away from the family, and taking that step to kind of go and learn and experience what it's like out there. And I learned an awful lot. I think you obviously make mistakes. You have some good things, and you know my strengths, and things that I've looked back and I think I could have done a little bit better with certain things, and that's life, and that's part of learning and becoming better all the time. It's the same as a player, it never changes. So and just experience, you know, bit of time, having a bit of time out as well to take a deep breath and just let things sink in a little bit, and I feel in a really good place to be here. It feels very natural, to be honest, feels very normal. Understand the job and what it entails and the responsibility I got, but I do feel I've learned an awful lot, and thanks to Middlesbrough for allowing me to do that when I went there, and had some really good times there. So now I feel I'm in a strong place to move forward and hopefully be successful here. You've
had 3 games in charge as caretaker in a previous stint. You've played here. How much insight does that give you as to how the job works here. Obviously, you hear people say that the shirt can weigh heavy, but you wore it with aplomb, and you took charge of those 3 games. Does that help?
Yeah, I think that'll help. Obviously, drawn on them experiences kind of already, but even at the time, I just really enjoyed it. It felt really natural. I thought, you never really know until you put in a position at certain how it's going to feel or how you're going to react, and sometimes you can't control your reactions. But I was pretty calm, and again, repeating it, I understood and I feel that responsibility, but I love it. I love it. It's a big old football club. It's an unbelievable football club, my favourite one in the world, and it has quite extremes at times. The highs are high and the disappointments can be low, and that's what shows you, and that's why it's worth the success and the effort to try and get there, because when you get there, it means something, and I'm fully aware of that. So I'm massively driven to feel that and to help other people feel that.
The 198th Manchester derby is the first time in charge for Michael Carrick, and plenty of changes coming from the Manchester United head coach too. 5 in total. Instead of me trying to give you who's in and who's out, it's probably best that I run you through the 11 and then I can have a chat with Ben. So, those changes see Luke Shaw come in at left-back, Lisandro Martinez and Harry Maguire in the 2 centre-back positions. Harry Maguire in for Lenny Yoro. Diogo Dalot plays at right-back with Senna Lomans in goal. Kobbie Mainoo and Casemiro partner each other for just the 3rd time since early 2024. Patrick Dorgu, we think, will be wide on the left-hand side. Ahmad comes back in from AFCON on the right-hand side for Mateus Cunha. Bruno Fernandes behind Brian Mbeumo. That means that Agate, Šeško, Cunha, Yoro and Mount all on the bench for Manchester United. No place for Joshua Zirkzee on the bench either. Mateus Cunha, Mason Mount, Lenny Yoro, Manu Agate and Benjamin Šeško all amongst the substitutes for Manchester United. That's 5 changes, Ben, and maybe more changes than we were anticipating?
Yeah, probably. I think, Michael Carrick has taken this role on, and from where we were maybe only 1 or 2 games ago, all of a sudden he's got an abundance of players to choose from. Only Nous Mazraoui still at AFCON playing in the final, obviously tomorrow, and Matthijs de Ligt. Everybody else is available. So he had some rather difficult decisions to make, and this is the team that he's gone with.
Yeah, so you've got all of these attacking players that you're able to choose from, and unfortunately only sort of 4 attacking positions for them to fit into, and Bruno Fernandes takes one of those as he's the captain. But obviously Ahmad and Mbeumo both had really good tournaments. Ahmad certainly from Ivory Coast over at AFCON comes back in a rich vein of form. Hard to leave somebody out like that when they've scored as many goals and a couple of assists at AFCON.
Yeah, and obviously Matthijs Cunha, for example, he's going to be disappointed. Benjamin Šeško, who scored 3 goals in his last 2 games, he's going to be disappointed as well. But like I said, Michael Carrick had a difficult job to do, and this is the team that he feels is going to be combative, but also have the quality to be able to get a result.
We spoke to Michael Carrick on Inside Carrington on Tuesday when he arrived at the football club, and he was saying that very much a case of starters and finishers, and he's a firm believer in those that come off the substitutes bench have just as big a role to play as those that start the game. And actually, when you look at that Manchester United bench, there are now game changers on it that can come on and really put a marker down in later on in the game.
Yeah, and sometimes more so that becomes more important, especially as the game goes on, and teams have been thrashing it out for 60, 70 minutes. It's that one person that can come on the bench, like a Šeško, like a Cunha, that could be the difference in the end. We'll have to wait and see.
And just finally, before we send you pitch side with Sully, and that is Harry Maguire comes in, starts his first game in the Premier League since Spurs. He's missed a load with a couple of injuries and bits and pieces, but now has this opportunity to play alongside Lisandro Martinez against Erling Haaland, really challenge himself, and you couldn't ask for much more experience than those two.
No, Lisandro Martinez has got a really good record playing against Erling Haaland, but also you've got Harry Maguire there now for that, for that physical element. We know what a physical player Haaland is, and Harry Maguire will certainly live up to that.
Yeah, absolutely. Juice is already flowing ahead of the 198th Manchester derby. We are absolutely up for it. Let's hope that it goes Manchester United's way. We will wait here, find the Manchester City team news out. We'll be back with that in a little while. In the meantime, let's get you pitch side with Sully.
Thanks to Liam and Ben, and welcome pitchside here at the Theatre of Dreams, where I'm joined by former Reds Phil Bardsley and Quinton Fortune. We're all fascinated to see Michael Carrick's first selection
as our head coach. And the team we see, Quinton, looks well set up, right?
Yeah, it's an attacking team. A little bit surprised, obviously. And that's, like you mentioned, that's probably the conundrum Michael's going to have in terms of Sesko not playing up front. But he's gone with Cunha, not a bad option as well. So attacking team, we've got to be aggressive today. We spoke about it before. Of course, it is a very good team, but we saw the game against Brighton a few weeks ago. They struggled. They look vulnerable at the back. They've got the big centre backs out. So it's all for us to play today.
Yeah, it's interesting to see how they do line up. We've gone with that 4-3-3, with Mburmo perhaps leading the line, Ahmad one side, Dorgu offering better defensive help on the left.
Yeah, I'd say so. I think if we look over the past 2 or 3 months, I think it's evident to see the work rate Ahmad has had in that wing back position. You know, he's reliable, he gets up and down the pitch, and I think today it'll be vital, especially against a team like City who are going to have a lot of possession. You know, it'll be important that we're tucked in, we're nice and tight as a team, we're compact, hard to break down, and you know, with Ahmad, you've always got that outlet as well as, you know, penetration in behind to cause problems. And, yeah, I say Dorgu as well. I think over recent weeks he's played some really good stuff. I think, obviously, his end product was a slight issue when he first arrived, his decision-making. But I think over recent weeks he's really improved in that department.
Nice balance in midfield, Quinny, with Casemiro and Kobe.
Yeah.
Alongside Bruno, who will perhaps just be the more advanced of the three.
Yeah, I mean, it shows you Mike Carrick's his nature, his character. He's gone for more called football players in terms of Kobe. Kobe, we know, is a fantastic player. So happy to see him back in the United jersey again. And Kobe, when he's on the ball, you know he's going to find passes, he can break the lines. He's got a goal in him as well. And excited to have him back in the team.
It must have been an interesting period for the two of you. I mean, Michael Carrick's a mate and a former teammate, just as Darren Fletcher was when he handled the club for a couple of games. So have you been able to have much conversation with him and see where his head's at in terms of taking this role?
No, I've not. I obviously, when people take jobs and stuff, and you understand they're very busy in trying to get, you know, the points across to the team and the work and the work that they've got to do. So I normally just leave them to it, let them get on with it, and I'll probably touch base with them sometime next week. But I'm disappointed I've lost my golf partner. Obviously, I had a good golf partner for 3 or 4 months when he left Borough. So you know, at the time he was quite content in obviously having a bit of time out from the game. He spent a lot of time. Obviously, I don't think he's had any time out from playing, straight into coaching, then into management. But when an opportunity like this comes up, and it doesn't come up all the time, you just cannot say no to this. So, you know, even though I've lost a golf partner, I'm delighted that he's took this job. I think he's a perfect person to take us forward. Whether it's the end of the season or beyond that, it remains to be seen. But absolutely delighted because he's one of them good people in football, and his football knowledge is top class.
Yeah, and I know your WhatsApp group's been on fire over the last couple of weeks, Quinny, but Michael, together with the backroom team he's assembled, look well set to help lead this club through a difficult period, and hopefully it will be a successful one under Michael, because there still is a possibility of us qualifying for European football, and that should be the target.
Oh my goodness, so in some way it's strange even to say having to qualify for Europe. That should be a given at Manchester United. I know that's the standards of the club. We should be focusing on winning the league. But of course we got to take baby steps now and making sure first get this game, win today. But the aim is always going to be at Manchester United about winning the league. Win the league. That should never ever change. The situation we're now in, yes, we've got to qualify for Europe.
We're only 3 points off top 4, Quinny, as it stands.
Yeah. I mean, so within our reach.
Yeah,
there's still a big possibility. So we got to that focus got to always be up, and hopefully Mike can do that for us.
It's certainly aided by the return of the players from AFCON and having a much fitter squad than we've had at some points of the season. Someone like Maguire back in, for example, today just adds a lot of experience and knowledge back there.
Yeah, absolutely. I think throughout the course of the season, I think we've lost players at key times, and I think from Harry's setbacks, what he's done and the way he's come back into the fold and into the team, his standards that he set have been outstanding. I think we're a much better team when he's in the team. So I'm looking forward to him, obviously, for him to be back involved. Hopefully he can stay, injury free from now to the end of the season. But obviously the lads that have been away at AFCON as well, great opportunity for them to go and play for the countries. But they were certainly missed for us, and I'm glad to see him back.
We'll check more about the team a little bit later, but let's have a check on who City are lining up with.
Yes, welcome back to the tunnel. Getting busier as we get a little bit closer to kick-off in the Manchester derby, lunchtime in the Premier League. Just a reminder, 5 changes for Manchester United. Into the side come Harry Maguire, Casemiro, Brian Mbeumo, Ahmad and Luke Shaw. Out go Mount, Šeško, Agate, Cunha and Lenny Yoro. 4-2-3-1 with Mbeumo playing up front for Manchester United. Ahmad off the right. Dorgu looks like left wing with Shaw and Diogo Dalot, the 2 fullbacks. Importantly, though, Lisandro Martinez and Harry Maguire chosen to deal with the threat of Erling Haaland and the wealth of attacking talent that Manchester City have chosen. And Pep Guardiola has made 3 changes to his Manchester City side. Out go Tijani Reinders, Núñez and Gonzalez. In their place, Rico Lewis, Rodri and Antoine Semenyo. Let's run you through the Manchester City 11. 8 clean sheets in 18 appearances for Gianluigi Donnarumma. He has been a really good addition to this Manchester City side. It's a bit make do amend across the back 4 for Pep Guardiola. Rico Lewis at right back, Kuzinov and Elaine, who haven't played an awful lot of games together. In fact, this is just Max Elaine's 2nd game in the Premier League. His debut was a 1-1 draw against Brighton. Nathan Ake in at left back. Rodri replaces Gonzalez as the holding midfielder. New signing Antoine Semenyo comes in on the right hand side. Doku on the left, Foden and Bernardo Silva behind Erling Haaland, who has 20 goals and 4 assists in 21 Premier League appearances this season. There is absolutely no doubt who the main threat is for Manchester City.
Yeah, and if you can keep him quiet inside the box, then there's a good chance that they won't win the game, Manchester City. He obviously is quite a phenomenal athlete, but you really have to get close enough to him. Interestingly, it's going the other way. 2 relatively inexperienced players playing at centre-back for Manchester City, and with the wealth of talent that we've got, both starting and coming off the bench, that is somewhere where we've got to look to expose and hurt them.
Yeah, Kuzinov and Elaine, 21 and 20 in comparison. You've also got Nathan Ake playing at left-back, who's been playing with his knee heavily strapped in a position that's not his normal position. Rico Lewis has come in, hasn't started an awful lot of games at right-back this season. That has pretty much been a position nailed down by Matheus Núñez. It is very much changed across the back 4. Is that an opportunity for United?
I think it's 100% an opportunity. I think one of the changes we weren't expecting was Rico Lewis to come in for Núñez. The other 2 we probably sampled with, but certainly with the 2 centre-backs not being the recognised centre-backs that we're used to seeing at Manchester City, and Nathan Ake playing slightly out of position and maybe carrying a little bit of a knock, definitely got to be somewhere where this wealth of talent that we've got up there can really hurt them.
Since the 1st of January last year, Manchester City have now spent £414 million as they sort of refresh this squad. One of those is Antoine Semenyo. We've already played him a couple of times over the course of this season. We're now going to have to face him again, and he's been very good since pulling on a Manchester City shirt.
Yeah, he's an excellent player, and ironically, the game that he scored here for Bournemouth before he left, I thought he was playing well within himself, but he is a talent, there's no question about it, and he's come here and he's already hit the ground running. He's going to have to be somebody else, along with Doku on the other side, that we're going to have to keep a close eye on.
Right, enough from us talking about Manchester City. Let's hear from somebody that knows what they're talking about. Here's the City boss, Pep Guardiola.
Pep, when it comes to preparing for games, obviously you're always very methodical. With this being a different manager in Michael Carrick, you don't have a lot of reference points. I'm just interested, how do you prepare, and has it been quite different this week compared to other managers you faced recently?
Yeah, well, you have more info about what the opponent or the manager, the opponent does. You have to give more info to the players. When you don't have any info, don't give info to the players and focus on yourself. So this, maybe with a lineup, tomorrow you have an idea. You can have, some idea what Middlesbrough has done, or when Michael was in few games, was his first part as a manager in Man United, but it's tactics is about the players, and the players that you have United tomorrow is to play different was in Middlesbrough. So make analogy to say what are you going to do. I don't know.
And in that, is there a thrill for you still that there's some things you don't know. You solve so many problems before a game as a manager, but this one's maybe a little bit different. You have to react to whatever Michael Carrick might do.
Yeah, but I don't have a timeout after 10 minutes to tell them, guys, Michael want to do this, you know that, so we have time. So that's why when you don't have info, it's better, you know, focus on yourself. For example, the game we played against Chelsea recently with a new manager, the first half was completely different than they play in the second half. So that's why it's question adapt and focus on yourself.
Erling hasn't scored in open play for a few games, but from when you replay the games and analyse it, is he doing a lot more in his overall game, and how happy are you with that?
God bless, we have Erling in our team right now, in all the season. We are fortunate to have him. Without him, we would not be in the position that we are right now.
Without, in your own words, without just scoring the goals, what else does he bring to your team?
Yeah, a lot. It's getting better and many things. But it's a lot of games. You have an incredible period, 4 games, and in every 3 days. The recovery is less with travels and tough conditions, central defender stuff. And yeah, it's difficult, you know, but he'll be back.
Like Van Heck and the Newcastle defender quite like to get in his face and wrestle him. Does he relish that?
No, it's the best. It's the striker all around the world. He makes more faults than defenders to him. That is the biggest attribute from Erling Haaland. That's really good. So it's only a striker I've seen in my life that he make more faults to the defenders than defenders to him. I never saw like that. But in the beginning of the season, the referee said it will be the opposite, but it's completely the opposite, right? Honestly.
So Pep's speaking there, tasked with trying to get a result for his City side today. A City side shorn of defenders, actually. Their back line looking a lot younger, more inexperienced than other City back lines we've seen, particularly without Diaz, who's their best centre-back.
Stones
as well, and Gvardiol. Is that an area we could target?
Oh, 100%, Solly. If I, in a change room now, I'll be looking at their back four and going, have a go at them. Even at the midfield as well. Of course, we know City are wonderful with the ball, but you got to take the ball away from them. You got to be aggressive. I see Pep speaking there about Haaland. He's praising him, rightly so. He's unbelievable. He's a machine. And he said Haaland is the first time he's seen a striker that are bullying defenders. If I'm a defender in a change room at Manchester United, that's the challenge. That's basically telling to me.
First 5 minutes, by the way,
I'll be looking for Haaland anywhere in the pitch. I'll be looking for Haaland and going for a tackle.
I was looking at their defence, not their attacking line, because that does look pretty good with Haaland, Semenyo, who's hit the ground running at City, Foden and Bernardo, Doku.
Yeah,
it's a scary looking front line, but that's a great challenge for us, isn't it?
It is, and you know, from our point of view, I think obviously the systems. Obviously, we don't really know how we're going to set up yet, but obviously we played with a 5. If we go with a 4 today, I think the fullbacks will be so important. I think defensively, that has got to be their main priority. I get they want to join in, I get they want to attack, get crosses in, but number one job for our defenders, our fullbacks today, is take care of their wingers, because they will win the game for them today.
Yeah.
Haaland through the middle, Semenyo out wide, Doku out the other side. You know, they're a real handful, a real threat. So our fullbacks need to be top draw today.
It's winning your individual battles, but not just that. You cannot leave Doku 1v1 Semenyo. You have to double up on them. And
I think that's why he's gone with Ahmad and Dogu as well. Defensively minded as well. And they've got the outlet to get us up the pitch.
Absolutely, yeah.
But at the same time, Sully, you saw, I mentioned again, Brighton, you've got to take the ball away from them. When we have the ball, take care of the ball. We've got enough quality in this team. And make City work hard. Make them a run around. And when we're in a good position, then obviously we need runners in behind that we spoke about before, and hurt them a little bit, because if we come here and just defend against City, they will pick us off. They can keep the ball for all day long. They got enough quality. We got to take what they enjoy is not giving the ball.
Yeah, well, it's an exciting match ahead, isn't it? Just want to take this opportunity to say thank you to our viewers on YouTube. If you want to continue watching the build-up with us, then you can do so on the Manchester United app. the midfield could be a big battle today.
Yeah,
we
yeah.
know how good Rodri is, his quality,
Yeah.
and how he likes to control a game. So how much emphasis will be on Kobe and Casemiro and Bruno, because he works defensively well to stop him getting on the ball?
I think it'll be more for Bruno that. Obviously, I think the other two will be taking care of Foden, Bernardo Silva, but I think